Welcome to level 3 in this series of chord tone soloing. In this level, I'm going to show you how to target the fifths of a chord. Now the chord progression we're going to be working with is going to be B minor, D, F sharp minor, and then G. Now the fifth, referring to the fifth note of a scale, all right, there are a few different ways that you can find the fifth very easily. So the first way is that you can count it up by steps or by frets. So for example, if I am going to want to find the fifth of a B minor, then I can go up a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frets, all right? Or I can go up 1, 2, 3.5 steps, and that will get me to the fifth. This way does work, but this way I don't use that often because it's kind of hard to quickly see up 7 frets or 3.5 steps. One way that I really like to do it is to view it as the same way as a power chord. So if my B is here, then a good rule to remember is right below is a 4, and then 2 frets up is your 5. So you have the 5, just like a power chord. So this is the 1, and then this is the 5. And that's going to be true for anywhere. This is the 1, this is the 5. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. All right? Now, the second way to do this is if let's say my B is here. Well, another rule is that the 5 is directly above the root. All right? And there's a 5. So you can view a 5 here or right above. These are the ones that I use the most often, as trying to view 7 frets up very quickly can be kind of challenging. And before I go any further, if you've gotten some value from this video, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow this channel and help out as many guitar players as I possibly can. But please like and subscribe and keep enjoying the video. But of course, we have that weird second to third string thing, so these rules I just showed you shift a little bit in that situation. So if you have a B on the 3rd string and you want to play a 5th on the 2nd string, well, what I just showed you is this is a 5th, right? That's true for everywhere but here. When you're dealing with the 3rd to the 2nd string, you have to plus 1. So that is a 5. Now, let's say that you're viewing B here on the 2nd string, and you want to do the 5th on the 3rd string. Well, I told you that it's right above, but except when you're doing here from 2 to 3, it's right above and then back 1. There's your 5. So if you're going from the 3rd string to the 2nd, you've got a plus 1. If you're going from the 2nd string to the 3rd, you've got a minus 1 from those 2 rules that I showed you earlier. So to practice this, what you're going to do is I'm going to take you through every single string on the guitar so that you're confident hitting the fifths on every single string wherever you want to play them. All right, and we're going to target the 1st string first. Now, as I said before, the chords that we're going to be working with is going to be B minor, D, F sharp minor, and then G, okay? So on the 1st string, it's going to be helpful to actually find the roots on the 2nd string so that you can find the 5th from there. So if we have a B or open, my 5th is going to be on the 14th fret of the 1st string. So the B was on the 12th fret of the 2nd, I go up the 5th, there you go. Or you could play it down an octave on the 2nd. Then the next chord is a D. So we go to the D on the 2nd string, which is on the 3rd fret, and then we do a 5th. We get there. Then we have an F sharp minor. Now, by the way, it doesn't matter if it's major or minor. The fifths are always going to be the same. They're referred to as perfect fifths. They stay the same for all major and minor chords except for diminished, which we're not even using here, so it doesn't matter. But we go to an F sharp on the 2nd string, which is the 7th fret, and then we go to the 5th, which is on the 9th fret, 1st string. Then we have a G, which we just go up 1 fret. G's on the 8th fret, and then that 5th is going to be 10th fret, 1st string. So, to recap, you have a 5th of B on the 14th fret or the 2nd fret of the 1st string. All right? The 5th of D is going to be on the 5th fret, 1st string. The 5th of F sharp is going to be on the 9th fret of the 1st string. And then the 5th of G is going to be on the 10th fret. So, what's going to happen is you're going to hear a backing track being played that's going to follow these chords. The chords are going to be on the screen for you so you know what chord is playing at all times. And what I want you to do is level 1 is just hit the 5s when the chord changes. If you're accurately hitting the fifth every time and it's easy, then try to add some notes after that. But you are only allowed to use the first string here. All right, so go ahead. All right, now we are going to do the second string. For the second string, I like to find these notes on the first string and then just go right above. You could do it the other way, it doesn't really matter, but I like to do it this way, so we're gonna do it this way. So the B is on the 7th fret of the first string, so the 5th is right above, 7th fret of the second string. Then we got a D, which is on the 10th fret of the first string. All right, so the 5th is right above that, 10th fret on the second string. Then we got an F sharp, which is on the 2nd fret. So right above that is the 2nd fret of the second string. You kind of see where this is going, why I like to do it. And then we have a G, which is the 3rd fret of the second string. So to recap that, the 5th of B is on the 7th fret. All of this is going to be on the second string. The 5th of D is on the 10th fret. The 5th of F sharp is on the 2nd. And the 5th of G is on the 3rd. All right, same exact thing, same backing, but now I want you to only use the second string when you're soloing. Go ahead, let's train. All right, now let's do the third string. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find the notes on the second string and then go to the 5th below. So a B is on the 12th fret of the second string. All right, so a 5 of B is going to be right above it and then behind 1, because remember that little weirdness between 2 and 3? So there's the 5th, which is on the 11th fret. Then we have a D chord. So we go to the D on the second string, we go right above and back. We get to the 2nd fret, that's where the 5th is. Then we've got an F sharp, which is on the 7th fret. We go up and back, and that is where the 5th that is, on the 6th fret. And then we have a G, which is on the 8th fret. We go up and back, so now it's on the 7th. So the 5 of B is going to be on the 11th fret of the 3rd string. The 5 of D is going to be on the 2nd fret. The 5 of F sharp is going to be on the 6th fret. and then the 5 of G is going to be on the 7th fret. All right, now solo only using the 3rd string. All right, now let's do the 4th string. And to break this up, we're gonna find the notes on the 5th string so that we can play the 5th on the 4th string. So a B on the 5th string is the 5th string, 2nd fret. So a 5th is gonna be right here. Next string up, 2 frets up. So right below is a 4, up 2 frets, that's where your 5th is, power. So the 5 of B is gonna be on the 4th fret. Now the D chord, we find D on the 5th string, which is the 5th fret. We go down and over 2. This is going to be on the 7th fret. That's where the 5 of D is. Then we go to an F sharp, which is going to be on the 9th fret of the 5th string. That's your F sharp note. So I go down and up 2. I get to the 11th fret of the 4th string. That is the 5th of F sharp. And then if I went the 5th of G, that is the 10th. G is on the 10th fret of the 5th string. So I go down and up 2. The 5th of G is on the 12th fret. So to recap, the 5th of B is on the 4th fret. The 5th of D is on the 7th fret. The 5th of F sharp is on the 11th fret. And the 5th of G is on the 12th fret. Now go ahead and solo using the 4th string. All right, now for the 5th string. To find the 5ths on the 5th string, I'm gonna look at where the notes are on the 6. So we've got a B on the 7th fret, 6th string, and then I go up the 5th, I get to the 9th fret of the 5th string. Then we've got a D, I go to the 10th fret, because that's where D is on the 6th string. I go up a 5th, and I get to 12. Then I go to F sharp on the 2nd fret of the 6th string, go up a 5th, and I'm on the 4th. Then I go to the G on the 3rd fret, 6th string, go up a 5th, and now I'm on the 5th fret. So the 5th of B is on the 9th fret, the 5th of D is on the 12th, the 5th of F sharp's on the 4th, and the 5th of G is on the fifth. So to be able to identify these fifths, you always want to, in your mind, look at where the root is and then find the fifth from there. You don't necessarily want to play the root first, you can, but to be able to just immediately go to the fifth, you need to see the root in your mind and then just go straight there. But now solo only using the fifth string. And finally, we are now at the sixth string. So to find where the fives are, we're gonna look at where the notes are on the fifth string and just go right above. So a B is on the second fret of the fifth string. So right above it is your fifth. The second fret of the sixth string. That's where the fifth of B minor is. Then the next one is a D, which is on the fifth fret. So right above that, you get the fifth fret, sixth string. Then we got an F sharp on the ninth fret. Go right above. That's where your 5 is, ninth fret. G's on the 10th fret, so right above, the fifth of G's on the 10th fret of the sixth string. So you have your fifth of B's on the second fret, your fifth of D's on the 5, your fifth of F sharp is on the 9, and your fifth of G's on the 10. Now solo only using the sixth string. Okay, great. So now you have practiced taking solos by using each individual string. But you also want to be able to move between. I mean, you don't want to take an entire solo while only using one string, right? You want to be able to use multiple. So now we're going to train on using multiple strings. What's going to happen is you're going to see the backing track playing, and on the screen, it's going to tell you what string to use. Now, I'm going to let the backing go for a little while you're on one string, but when you see that shift on the screen, then you know you got to change strings, okay? So when the strings change, if you feel like, oh crap, and rushed, well, that's kind of how you're supposed to feel. If you feel rushed and you don't know what to do, this just means you need to practice it more. So having it pop up unexpected and making you really ramble and try to find it instantly is going to train your instant recall. That's the ultimate goal, is you want to have instant recall when you're playing the guitar. If you want to play a fifth on the second string, it's instant. You know exactly where it is. If you want to play a third, it's instant. Anything you want on the guitar needs to be instant. But right now, you're going to solo to this backing track, and you're going to only use the string that is on the screen. Go ahead, have fun with it. Okay, now the final level of this is you're going to use multiple strings at a time. So it's going to be the exact same thing that you're going to see what strings to use on the screen. All right, but for instance, if it says only strings 1 and 2, you can only use 1 and 2 and none others. All right, so follow what's on the screen and start training. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot of value from it. I designed this so that you don't just go through it once, that these are training sessions to where you can watch them over and over again in practice and just get really good at them. But if you have any questions for me, just let me know in the comments. I can answer you there, and I will see you at the next lesson.